Salute to the people. What's good with it? Black Goose TV family. You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Flu. I'm here with some Fluence boxing news. Hopefully, y'all fuck with whatever I got to say. And if you don't, go ahead and tell me why in the comments below. And while you're doing it, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not part of the family. But let's go ahead and get right into this joint. We talking about Tyson Fury, who, of course, hasn't necessarily been the topic of news lately when it comes to the boxing community. And obviously, that makes complete sense because my brother is supposedly, allegedly retired. Obviously, after that last fight that he had with Dillian White. And he absolutely snatched the chin of the body snatcher in that beautiful performance. He came to the mic. Obviously, Francis Ngannou was there. He was saying he would love for that fight to happen, but he also officially retired from boxing during that time. There was speculation if that retirement was legit. We've had stories here and there, far and few between, coming from, Eddie Hearns of the world, Bob Arums of the world, different sources basically speculating whether or not he's really retired, if he was capping, whatever the case may be. We've even seen Tyson Fury come out himself and say, I would love to see Deontay Wilder come back if I decide to stay retired, so he can, obviously take up the reins from being the king, because he feels like he's the second best heavyweight out of everyone, right? We've seen all these different type of reports, but nothing obviously is confirmed or official in regards to Fury's retirement. We've even seen the WBC president come out and say, hey, we have no plans of stripping Tyson Fury of that belt. We're going to give him a little bit more time to decide whether or not he wants to retire or not. So Tyson Fury has all the motherfucking keys in his house. He has everything to his favor. So with that being said, we have an update from his promoter, right? Not his original promoter, because we all know the original OG promoter of Tyson Fury is Frank Warren, but the one who basically put him globally on the map or made him a U.S. sensation, some would say, Bob Arum. He came out, as you can see, per this article from BoxingScene.com. Arum expects Fury to make decision on career after the Usyk-Joshua fight. Now, obviously, this is all speculation. The only reason I wanted to speak on this, even though this is nothing that's legit, I think it's very interesting that Bob Arum is saying this because it's something I expected myself. Why would Fury retire if Usyk beats Joshua? That wouldn't make any sense, right? Obviously, Fury versus Usyk for undisputed will put Fury's legacy over the top. So in my mind, I'm like, why would you retire? And then I also said, well, if Joshua beats Usyk, I still don't see why he would retire, because obviously they're probably going to do a trilogy fight, but Fury is so goddamn big. Do you guys remember what happened with Andy Ruiz and AJ? Andy Ruiz got AJ out there quick. AJ came back. He won by a decision. They never gave Andy Ruiz his rematch. I'm not saying they're going to do that to Usyk, because honestly, I actually think Usyk has a little bit more pull for something like that to be allowed to happen. But what I am saying, if Tyson Fury got a big enough bag, and he obviously does, if he has a big enough clout, obviously he does, he has a team that's reputable enough and smart enough and business savvy enough to make certain things happen that you never expected, which he obviously does. If all these things lined up and all these things are the case when it comes to Tyson Fury, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, hey, if Joshua beats Usyk the second time, why not we take a pause for that trilogy fight, because that's always going to be there. Let's let Tyson Fury step in, and let's have Tyson Fury versus AJ, because then what can happen is if Tyson Fury beats AJ, we still have Usyk for Tyson Fury if necessary. That's what I think, right? I think regardless who wins, next up is Tyson Fury. I think the whoever wins AJ versus Usyk, whether it's AJ, whether it's Usyk, Tyson Fury is next. I truly believe that, because I do not think Tyson Fury has plans to stick around this sport very long. And I think Tyson Fury has two names on his list. And if it only has to be one, that'll probably do for him. And it's either AJ or Usyk, right? That's my personal speculation. That's my personal opinion. That's me looking at it from the outside in and saying this is what I think. If you guys disagree with me, please drop it in the comments below. Tell me why you disagree with me. Tell me your opinions. Tell me all your scenarios, your stories. Put it all together and let me read that joint, because I want to see if y'all on some bullshit or if I'm on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, but let's go ahead and get into this article. Obviously, we're not going to go crazy into it because all this is a speculation, but I want to go ahead and give you guys a direct quote coming from Bobby Bob Arum of Top Rank Sports. So he said, before he said that, this is leading up into it. Arum is not anticipating the final decision from Fury until the rematch happens. So here we go. Well, I think Fury is going to wait to see how the Joshua fight comes out with Usyk, and then he'll make a determination whether he wants to continue, Arum told Fight Hype. Other than fighting the winner of Joshua Usyk, there's really nothing that really is interest to Tyson Fury, so we will have to see. There is not a problem now, but if it is announced next week, then it could be. This is coming from Hearn as far as the Usyk versus Joshua target. And someone asked me this too, during the Fluence Lounge, do we have any updates on when Usyk Joshua was actually supposed to be happening? We don't have nothing legit, but let me go ahead and give you guys this. Usyk versus Joshua was targeted to take place on July 23rd in the Middle East. So this is Eddie Hearn responding to the potential date. There is not a problem now, but if it is announced next week, then it could be put back a week or two. The fight has definitely happened. The 23rd is the date that everyone has agreed to, and everyone is fine with. If we agree next week, then everything is good. The date of the fight and the time of training are not the problems. It's more about the extra obligation of TV, press conferences, promotion. 8 weeks out feels okay, but once you get down to 7 to 6, it's a problem. Both fighters know that we have to do a media tour. Then it needs to happen in the next 10 to 14 days. Beyond that, we'll have to move it back a week or two. If we go July 23rd, then we are 9 weeks away, and we need to announce next week. It has to be next week. They will want us to do a media tour. We'd have to go to the Middle East and London, maybe even New York. So we really need to announce next week. So it sounds like we're probably going to have an announcement next week for the Anthony Joshua Oleksandr Usyk date. So that's a little bit of extra information for anybody who made it this far in the video. So hey, there y'all go. But that's the case. Let me know what you guys think about this particular video. As always, man, drop it below as far as your opinion. Drop it in them comments. Even if you feel like you're gonna offend me, offend the fuck out of me. I just want to see what y'all got to say. As always, I'm never offended. I'm a real nigga. So why the fuck I gotta be offended by somebody I don't know? You heard me? But let me know what y'all think. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Much love to the people. And as always, I'll be back on the Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator side of the game, Terminator.